Hi friends, welcome back to another video. I'm Sam, and today we're going to be doing another book spotlight. Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. This is a very new release. It just came out early this month in January 2025. And I've read it and I'm going to share my thoughts with you. At the end, I'll be sharing my overall rating of the book. And before we get started, I just do want to mention this is a political book of sorts. And, you know, everybody is entitled to their own opinions. This is not a political channel. This is a book channel. Let's leave politics out of the comments and just talk about the book itself. Okay? Thanks. So in this book, Noah Fairchild lives in Brooklyn. His parents live in West Virginia, I believe. His parents have always been very conservative, right-wing people, and his dad starts getting into a 24-hour news channel called Facts News, where their slogan is just the facts. And I mean, obviously, we know what it's kind of making fun of. His parents seem to lose touch with reality and keep making racist, obscene comments about those people. And this is despite the fact that their daughter-in-law is of Haitian descent and is an immigrant, and so their grandchild is of mixed descent. And despite all that, they're saying all these awful things, and when they're called out on it by Noah, because he doesn't just stand by and let them do it, they say, oh, well, we don't mean her. We don't mean them. We mean, you know, the other ones. You know, yay for Noah for calling them out on it and not just putting up with it. But because of his parents increasingly losing touch with reality, he kind of loses touch with them in a way. So he doesn't have to subject his family to that, because, you know, nobody wants their child around that kind of hate and negativity. His mom keeps sending him increasingly weird voicemails like, the great reawakening is happening soon. You need to wake up and open your eyes. He calls her back and she doesn't answer. He calls his dad. He doesn't answer. He calls his brother, who lives an hour away from his parents, because he lives in Brooklyn. So he is about 8 hours, I think is what the book says, away from his parents, whereas his brother is only an hour. So he calls his brother to get him to check on the parents, and his brother doesn't answer. And he's like, what the hell is going on? Why is nobody answering the phone? So it is December 20th, 5 days before Christmas. And he's like, well, crap. I have to go and look after them, make sure that they're okay, because, you know, nobody's answering their phone. Mama left some really weird voicemails, like something could be going on. So let me go and check on them. So he goes down to West Virginia, he checks on them, and when he gets to the house, uses the spare key to go inside, he sees furniture in front of the front door kind of making a blockade. And he's like, oh my God, were they trying to stop somebody from breaking in? Has there been a robbery? And the house is just total destruction, and it stinks, and all the light bulbs are not just taken out of the fixtures, but like stepped on, crushed, like just completely destroyed. Well, if this is a robbery, this is a really weird robbery. But anyway, where's mom and dad? And he goes around the house, and at every corner he's expecting to just run into their dead bodies. As he's walking through the house, he hears voices. Then he realized, no, it's just a single voice just coming out of multiple speakers. His parents have put a TV in every room, literally every room. They're all on the Facts News channel, and they're all blaring. And it's this angry newscaster of the Facts News channel. It's him, and he's talking about the great reawakening is about to happen, and going on and on and on about get ready, do your part. etc., etc. The country is about to be taken back from the brink of disaster. Like, they're about to save the country. Finally, he sees his dad. His dad kind of sneaks up on him. When Noah goes to turn off the TV, his dad pops out of nowhere. I think he was hiding behind the couch. But he says to Noah, I was watching that. And Noah's like, oh my God, Dad, you're okay. What happened? What's going on? Dad is not okay. Dad is wearing clothes that he hasn't changed out of in a while. In fact, I think he's down to his skivvies and really looks like shit. Noah's like, okay, well, you're here. You look bad. Where's Mom? Because there's a weird dynamic between Noah and his father. His father has always liked his brother more. His brother was more of the conservative principles like he is. He took after his father, whereas Noah went on his own leftist ways. So Noah has always been closer to his mother. So he sees his dad and he's like, okay, Dad, you're here. You look like shit. Now I'm really worried about Mom. Where's Mom? And he hears noises from his parents' bedroom. There's his mom in his parents' bedroom, and she's basically just wearing like a flimsy nightgown and it's hanging off of one shoulder. She's really enjoying herself as she listens to Fax News. Yeah. So Noah sees this and he's kind of like, oh my God, my eyes. And he tries to get her back in bed. He's thinking that they've had a stroke or something. Something's like dementia or something's wrong with him. So he's like, lay down in bed. I'll get some help. You'll be fine. So he manages to get her in bed. He goes back downstairs and his dad's gone again. And it's just like the house is a mess. His parents are a mess. He's calling his brother to get him to come over and help him deal with this, because he's like, obviously they can't take care of themselves anymore. We're going to have to put them in a nursing home. Like, I can't do this by myself. He calls his brother and his brother's not answering, and he's like, this sucks. He has no help dealing with his parents. About that time, he hears the Fax News anchor do the countdown and say, 3, 2, 1, the great reawakening is here. And at that point, his dad goes to attack him. To defend himself, he takes the TV remote and shoves it down his dad's throat and ends up killing him. Meanwhile, his mom also attacks him. And not only does she attack him, but she starts to grind on top of him. He is all kinds of traumatized. I mean, as one would be, right? He locks her in a closet and she starts pounding her head against the closet door, trying to get out, and she's busting through it and losing all of her teeth and cutting her face open as she's doing this. And so he's like, what the hell is going on? He goes outside to try to get some help and realizes that the entire neighborhood is going through this same thing. There's attacks, there's riots, orgies, there's all this stuff going on. And nobody knows why. So he makes a decision. He's like, okay, well, I have to get back home to my wife and child. I've got to be there for them. So he decides to go to his brother's house because it's on the way back to Brooklyn. And he figures he can check on them and get some help from them to get back to Brooklyn to his wife and kid. Well, he gets there, and while all this is going on, he realizes his brother has gone into a school to do the Great Reawakening there. The book goes into how his brother Asher and Asher's wife Devin and their oldest son, how they, through their obsession with screens, have become affected by this virus, entity, disease, whatever you want to call it, but what's been going on, how they're affected by it. His wife Devin gets into the gurus, yoga, and wellness, and basically has stopped eating so she can purify her body and spiritually awake. And Asher himself has become addicted to Fax News. And we saw, well, you know, what happened with his parents in Fax News. So the same thing happens to him. Their oldest son gets addicted to chat rooms. His son actually goes to a school to also show the great reawakening there in his classroom. Yeah. So back to Noah. Noah gets to his brother's house, is attacked by his wife Devin, who, remember, has gone insane too. And he ends up killing her to get away. But their youngest son, Marcus, is miraculously still alive, still unharmed. And he has a screen, a tablet, I believe. Noah's like, oh good, put on your headphones, watch your tablet. We're going to have to hike to Brooklyn. You know, I don't want you to see and experience the horrors that we're going to have to go through, so just kind of keep your eye on the screen. So he does. So they make their way to Brooklyn. Marcus, his youngest nephew, has the screen and the headphones, and he's listening, and then the batteries die, and he kind of loses his mind and throws a hissy fit, and Noah is like, okay, well, you're just going to have to get over it, sorry. Then they go to a tunnel. It's the only way to get to Brooklyn. That's when his nephew, the virus that is infecting all these people through screens, that's when it finally hits him. Noah, because Marcus is a child, Noah is able to strap him onto his back facing away from him so he can't claw, scratch, bite him or anything, but so Noah can still get him home to Brooklyn and try to keep him safe. Because he says that he's lost too many people and he doesn't want to lose another one, especially if it's one that he can help. Through all of this violence and horror and everything going on, they finally make their way to Brooklyn, to his home. And this whole time, he's been trying to figure out a way to save Marcus. And a lot of people are believing that it is a demon possession, that the demons got in through the screens and people allowed them into their brains because of the screens, that's how the demons were possessing all these people. So Noah comes up with the idea where he's going to get the demon to possess him instead of Marcus. So he calls the demon out and he's like, take me instead. And then he's like, this is stupid. I sound like one of those right-wingers. There is no demons. It's just a disease. Like, what the hell? And then he hears Marcus laugh, and he's like, the greatest joke the devil ever played was making people not believe in him. So he kind of goes back and forth as to whether there's a demon or not, and that section ends without us knowing if he succeeds in calling out the demon, if the demon leaves Marcus, what happens to the demon if he leaves Marcus, we don't know. But when he gets to Brooklyn, we can see that he's changed. There's something darker about Noah, but Marcus is still the same. Nothing's changed with Marcus. He's still, you know, being crazy, and he's still strapped to Noah's back to keep him safe and keep Noah safe. But Noah's become a little darker, and could it be because of all the things he's experienced to get back home by Christmas Day, which it now is? Could it be all that he's experienced in this short time, all the loss he's had to deal with, all the violence he's had to witness? Or did the demon go into him? And if the demon went into him, why is Marcus still acting crazy? So at the very end of the book, we see him go to his home, and we see him knock on the door, and his wife answers with his daughter behind her, and they're like, "We're so glad you're home, you're safe." And he smiles and he's like, "Yes, I'm home, I'm safe." And the book makes sure to tell us that it's a dark smile, like it's not a happy I'm home smile. There's something dark and sinister about it. And then the book ends. So the author kind of leaves it to you to determine the ending as far as, is Marcus saved? Are Noah's wife and children, wife and daughter safe? Is Noah possessed? Is he now violent? Is he going to harm them? Like, what happens in the after? So overall, I rated this book a 3. I was expecting more zombie-like horror, and I didn't get that. It was very politically motivated, where basically all the right-wing conservative people get literally brainwashed into these violent people who are attacking everybody and everything. The liberal left-wingers are left trying to defend themselves and not really knowing what's going on, why this happened, and how to fix it. I was expecting more zombie-ish horror, and I didn't get that. So I did rate it a 3. I do think it's one worth checking out, especially if you are a politically minded person or a person who is aware of how easy social media and media in general can brainwash us. Yeah, it's worth checking out. That was an interesting soundbite. That was interesting. But I was expecting more zombie horror, and it wasn't that. So, okay, this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I really hope you liked it. Let me know if you plan on checking out Wake Up and Open Your Eyes or any other zombie type books that you'd recommend. I am all for the zombie horror. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.